Now with Nadine.
I'm thrilled to welcome Shane and Kara Bieber to the studio today. Shane is a star pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians, and he's focused on his road to recovery as he prepares for the 2025 season. And Kara, an entrepreneur and soon-to-be first-time mom, is gearing up for their greatest adventure yet. Of course, that's parenthood. The couple is here to dish it all, from balancing baseball and business to designing their dream nursery. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're excited.
I mean, Kara's sitting here about to pop, even though she looks like she literally just got pregnant yesterday. You're beautiful.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I feel super blessed to have a really easy pregnancy. I know that's not the case for everyone, but I've really actually enjoyed it.
It's because it's a boy.
Yeah.
Only girls would do that to their mother.
Really?
Yeah,
You think so? That's what a lot of people are saying, but she's putting on a clinic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So we're expecting a little boy. I'm so excited. And we have so much to cover today, from baseball to Kara's doing so much stuff from an entrepreneurial perspective. But I want to start from the beginning. Before we sat down, we started to get to know each other, and we have so much synergy. Kara grew up in Northern California. When I say Northern California, it is way up there in Northern California.
The real
near
Northern California.
Humboldt, right? Mm-hmm. And what was it like growing up in Humboldt?
I didn't realize how different my childhood was until I think I went to college at UCSB, when I was telling people that, I would ride my horse to like go get milk, or, that sounds like crazy, but that's really how I grew up, is just so rural and in the middle of nowhere, which I just think it gave me so much that I wouldn't have gotten living, kind of in the city. I think there's pros and cons to both. But I grew up riding my horses in the middle of nowhere and living in the redwood forest, and it was so beautiful. I love Humboldt.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
My sister's actually the mayor of Arcata, and Shane, you'll get a kick out of this. We went to a Humboldt Crabs game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they let my
They're
son
fun.
throw the first pitch.
That's awesome, yeah.
It was the best thing ever.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and it brings you back in time being up there, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a summer ball league, right?
It's a summer ball league.
So a lot of college players go there in between their collegiate seasons, and I've had some teammates that have played there, and so we share that connection, and I know where it's at, and I know where they spent a full summer, and it's always fun to say that.
It's a really neat
I've
and
got family
special
there,
ballpark.
Yeah.
And then Shane, you grew up in Laguna Hills, which is in Southern California.
I did, yeah. So about 3 hours south of Santa Barbara, where we eventually met, and about 11 or 12 hours from Humboldt.
11 or 12, yes.
Well, that's when
I
we tell
know.
people, it's like, wow.
It's
that's
really true.
California's
His parents
huge,
drove to Humboldt for one Christmas, and, people don't get that it's, 11, 12 hours just to stay in California, because Humboldt is 2 hours from the Oregon border. I mean,
Right.
it's so north. So
It's a beautiful state, a very big state.
Gorgeous.
And Shane, growing up, did you have dreams of playing baseball?
Yeah, of course. I always enjoyed it. I played various different sports growing up, and I credit my parents and my family for that, just allowing me to do whatever I enjoyed best. And baseball kind of,
stuck.
baseball kind of stuck in a word, and it was pretty clear that was the sport that I'd probably have a future in, even if it was just going to college, and was able to go to college and then, make some developmental gains there. And from there on out, we found ourselves here. So, it's always been a sport just full of love and drive, and that's what it'll continue to be.
Did you grow up pitching like in Little League?
Yeah, like I think I played a bunch of different positions, and I hit, and then I continually regressed every year since I was like 12 years old, and had to become a pitcher only, and that's usually what happens for most guys. But thankfully, I was good enough at pitching to take it to the next level.
And there's so many young kids who have big dreams. Was there any sort of sign as you were growing up that you're like you have something, you're going to make it?
Yeah, definitely. I think I was always extremely competitive and played with a lot of similar talents around Laguna Hills and Orange County. Southern California is a baseball hotbed, kind of like Phoenix, Arizona out here as well. But for me, really, I just continually tried to make that next step to the next level, and was able to do that and continue to gain developmentally. And I wasn't sure I was going to play in college, but had the opportunity, and things kind of opened up for me, and I was able to make some strides. And then wasn't sure I was going to get drafted, but again, I made some strides and got on the professional radar, and continue to just kind of put one foot in front of the other, and here we are. Yeah.
Well, I like going in chronological order, so we're
Yeah.
going to back up for a second. So from high school, you went to UCSB in Santa Barbara, and you got to play baseball there. Is
Yeah.
that why you went there?
Correct. Yeah. For me, I didn't have a ton of offers out of high school. I was a little bit undersized, and so I knew that Santa Barbara, if I wasn't afforded the opportunity to play collegiate baseball, that Santa Barbara would be my number one school, my dream school, just academically. I didn't end up getting
It's a
a degree.
great school.
Yeah, it's a great school. It's a great degree.
It's
I
not
ended
fun
up
at
leaving
all
after.
there.
It's not a fun school at all, which we're about to go into in a
Yeah.
second
Early,
of how not fun it is.
We joke that I'm the dropout. She's got the degree. She's the real gaucho. But I left there after my junior year once I got drafted to play professionally. And so regardless, that was my dream school. And when they offered me a spot to, play baseball there, I said, you'd get me into school. Because I was decent. I had decent grades in high school, but probably not.
You need like a 4.8
But
to
you
go
need
there.
to be like
Quite the
having
resume.
nonprofits and all
Right.
sorts of stuff.
It's a
that,
big
like,
deal to get in.
Yeah, at
You
such a young age, kids are doing the absolute most these days to like get into college. That even if you get really good grades, that's just not enough.
So that's a benefit of working hard athletically. Is that sometimes they're able to push you through admissions and help out. And I needed a little push, and they gave me that. So I was happy either way.
Yeah, and Kara mentioned this is not a fun school. In fact, it never made the number one party school in California ever. UCSB, it's located 15 minutes out of Santa Barbara. It's actually in Goleta. And when you go to UCSB, you live in a beautiful neighborhood called Isla Vista, known as IV. I know I lived there for a year, and you guys live there. When I say beautiful, it's
a community only for college kids.
It's a
So it's
community
like we are
only for
running
college kids.
basically our own little community, which looking back, like it's actually kind of crazy.
Just pushed up
what's the
against-
burrito place called?
Oh my gosh,
Freebirds.
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 We
The
recently
California
just
burrito.
went.
I like Super Kukas too.
We recently just went for my birthday in July, and we got off the plane, and I was like, what I want, because I was newly pregnant, and I was, like aversions and just kind of like nauseous and all the things. I was like, I want Freebirds nachos, and we went and drove to Goleta and had it, and I was like the happiest I've been in a long time.
We
I was
hammered
like,
some
That's so
nachos.
fun. I feel like
is
if
so
you
good.
go to if you live in Goleta and live in IV, you know DP, which is Del Playa. It's the street that's right, literally overlooking the ocean,
on the water.
the biggest party street. And fun fact, both of you lived on DP.
Yep.
Did you
Yep.
meet at a party?
We actually did. Yeah, he was back in town for alumni weekend, and I'll let you take it because your side of the story is kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what part, but I went back after I got drafted my junior year. I went back to kind of chip away at finishing my degree. I'm still chipping away.
Good for you.
8 years later, but we met through a mutual friend who thought that we would be fantastic together. Little did we know that we'd end up right here doing this and expecting our first child. But
Yeah.
You're not telling me the funny part.
I know.
I don't.
I'm
Well,
trying
she
to-
thinks it's funny because I showed up in jeans and sandals, and she's helped me build up my
No.
my wardrobe a little bit.
It was
and-
funny because we had been talking before he got into town and kind of had planned to hang out, and it was like kind of getting later in the night, and I don't remember saying this, but I think I texted him and I was like,
Oh, that's
I was
right.
just like, so are we gonna hang out or what? Or
Yeah.
just something super blunt like that.
I was with
and-
my buddies, she was with her buddies, and we were kind of just like doing our own thing. And
Yeah.
we had plans to meet up because, like I said, we were introduced, I guess,
Through-
digitally through a mutual friend.
Yeah, like my best friend and her boyfriend at the time went to dinner and was like, he was friends with him, and she's obviously was
And
my
did
best friend.
sparks fly when you met?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just kind of knew that we immediately really got along and kind of like understood each other's, like, I don't know, I guess you could say energy for sure.
And obviously,
But-
I mean, look at her. She's
beautiful.
fantastic. She's gorgeous. But her personality, her background, we already touched on it, but I was very attracted to how she grew up and her background, and it's so much different than.
Modest.
Yeah, and people that
Right.
I've.
Real.
I had come into contact with, especially like recently. I'd never met somebody from so far up Northern California, and growing up in a rural space like that, but also so easily like transmittable to a lifestyle
Adaptable.
of
And I remember
of Santa
how-
Barbara and Southern California as well, and all that.
You were so surprised when I told you how I grew up that
Mm-hmm.
I think like you were just like, wait, tell me more.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's intriguing. No one
Yeah, I
thinks
guess.
about
Absolutely.
it.
And I just thought it was normal because it was like
Right.
I was like
That's
a
how you grew
sophomore in
up.
college, and I was like, every time I would tell somebody a little more, I'm like, they're kind of looking at me weird. Like they kind of think this is strange, just a really different way of growing up. So it was really interesting to see his reaction on that.
Okay, so we meet at UCSB. We fall head over heels. But then Shane, well, first of all, I actually want to ask Kara, what did you major in?
Communication, marketing.
So you ended up getting your degree from UCSB. And then Shane, you were then drafted right away?
Yeah, so I was a sociology major. I bounced around quite a bit, but it became pretty clear that I was, hopeful to be drafted after my junior year. That became pretty clear my sophomore year. So academics, I wouldn't say they started to take a back seat, but they might have taken a back seat, right? So
That's a lot.
I was really, just chipping away at a sociology degree, but focusing on baseball and my development there, and that was kind of the plan. The plan became pretty clear early on that I was going to get drafted. So got drafted, spent
right away.
Yeah, in 2016, spent the better part of 2 years in the minor leagues, which is actually a really fast track relative to a lot of guys' paths. And I was very fortunate to have a lot of opportunities open up in front of me, and I was able to take advantage of those. And I made my debut in Minneapolis against the Twins for at the time, Cleveland Indians. In
Crazy.
2018
on his birthday.
Yeah, my
On
23rd
your birthday.
birthday.
Yeah.
23rd birthday.
Were you there?
Yeah, I flew in from Santa Barbara. I remember the call like it was yesterday, and it was just I had to only be there, or I could only be there for like 24 hours because I had to get back for like a final or a midterm or something crazy.
Yeah.
So I was like got in for the game and then had to. I remember it was like 6 a.m. I had to get up and catch a flight back to school because
But
he's
it's
3 years older.
What was it like watching him?
Crazy. Looking back, I had no idea what was going on at all.
Neither did I.
And at
No,
this
we
point,
were
it was
so
just
young.
a serious relationship. We weren't engaged yet.
No, yeah.
Right.
We were so young that, we had no idea what was going on, but we had each other and we just stuck together, honestly, and did our best. And at that time, the team was a lot older. Like, they were all vets. And so we were kind of like the young ones with no kids and everything. So that was really cool. But those people on that team were so sweet and took us under their wing. And we still, to this day, hope we can be that for, the new people on our team.
And what was that like for you, Shane? This is what little boys dream of. And as cliche as that sounds,
Yeah.
but you take the mound. This is your birthday. I mean, what thought is going through your head? What song is going through your
That
head? Give us
breakfast.
something. What did you eat for breakfast?
There was just a lot going on. I couldn't get anything down for breakfast. I couldn't eat all
We
day.
met his
I tried my
parents.
best. Once I got to the field, things kind of normalized, and I was able to kind of settle into a routine. So I was anxious to get to the stadium that day. But it was like a 7:00 game, and so usually you don't show up till noon or 1, or if you're the starting pitcher, usually like 3:00. But I was probably there right around noon just to get comfortable in a locker. And again, I wasn't. It was my debut, and so I was just meeting a lot of my teammates for the first time.
Right.
And it was what they call like a spot start. So they needed a starting pitcher, and I went up there. I made my start, and then a day later, I went back down to the minor leagues. A few weeks later, I ended up getting called back up again, and I stuck. And I stayed there for the rest of the season through the end of the season, and have been up since. But it was just a wild time, on top of having to go out there and, give my best to perform my best in my first ever major league outing. Had a ton of friends and family there.
From UCSB, all the boys came.
I'm sure.
My buddies
DP came
flew out.
out.
My buddies' families flew out. We're all very close and tight-knit, and we still are to this day. So I'm very thankful to them and for our community.
Did you perform? I'm dying to know.
I did okay.
Okay.
I started
think
off
you
really
did good.
well. And then things kind of unfolded as I faced the lineup for the second or third time. So later in the game, I gave up a few runs, but ultimately it was a really good debut and a successful one. And I was happy to get that honestly over and done with.
But it was
so I
crazy
could
for his
move on to
birthday,
the next
too.
one. And
For your birthday.
yeah, it was
His phone,
There was
I
a lot
was
going
like,
on,
well,
yeah.
I'm taking this. Like, you need
happiest birthday.
to
Yeah.
shut this off because it's just like everybody texting him before, and all of that was pretty crazy. But you got really dialed in and
yeah.
able to.
And was
focus.
that your moment that you felt this is this is going to be my career?
No, it takes a while. I think most guys would tell you that. There's a lot of anxiety that goes into it. I knew that it was going to be like I said, a spot start, and I had to go up there and earn my role, earn my keep. I was kind of able to do that, but I wasn't really able to do that looking back officially until, my third, fourth, fifth start of the season. And that's when you're able to settle into a routine and get to know everybody and get familiar with the competition and the level of competition up in the major leagues, because it's a lot different than the minors and in AAA specifically. And so it definitely takes a while for a lot of guys to just feel used to it and feel like they belong. And I think for me, comparatively, it was pretty quick, but it didn't happen right away.
Sure. Now, going back to your personal story, at what point did you guys get engaged?
July 17th,
2021.
2020.
How did he propose?
Yeah. So we were on the road in San Francisco, right? And it was around All-Star break. And so we had like one day to go do whatever we wanted. And he took me to Napa and we went wine tasting. And I was telling all my girlfriends, I'm like, this is going to happen. Like, it's going to be today.
Well,
like,
her birthday's the
stand by.
18th as well. And so, looking back, I may have hit her with a little juke move on accident.
Yeah. all day I was just like, yep, it's happening. This is going to be so exciting. Like, somebody picked us up at like 8 a.m. and took us to all these wineries. I'm like, we've never done anything like this. I'm so lucky. Like, we're having the best day. And then around like 1 o'clock, we went to lunch and I was like, you know what? I actually don't think it's happening.
You're texting the girlfriends, rain check.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Anyway, we'll see. And then
that was like 2 or 3 days prior to when I actually did it, which was on a hill overlooking, not the Golden Gate, but the San Francisco Bridge. And
it was the most special.
Was that in Tiburon? That hill?
No, it was in the city.
It was in the city.
Yeah, it was in
and
the
this
city.
trip, it actually worked out really great because my family always came from Humboldt, and then his family would always come to this like away series as well. So I was like,
All our families
nothing,
were together on the San Francisco
nothing
trip.
weird. Everyone's in town as they always would be. And so then, he proposed with one of those like picnic setups, which I loved because it was, something special, but not really over the top. Yeah, it was very intimate. And my sister and my brother-in-law were there.
Help.
We were on our way to dinner, and
you did great.
Yeah, we were on our way to
She said
dinner,
yes.
and
Yeah, she did.
we started to like not go to the water where it was and go up a hill. And I'm like, wait a second. And then I see him standing up there, and it was the sweetest thing. And then we celebrated with our family at dinner. So it was exactly how I probably would have imagined and wanted.
We're really,
And
really
at that point,
close.
where were you living?
At that point, we didn't. No, we had a home. We had a home in the Biltmore area.
Okay.
Which we bought after COVID. We're kind of working like backwards in a timeline, right?
But
we
COVID
bought
was
it after
crazy.
COVID, and we needed a home and a place to call our own and to settle with all our things. Because once COVID hit and they told everyone to go home, we were like,
Yeah.
where do we go?
Where
don't
are we
have a home.
Timeline wise, I graduated from UCSB a little early so that I could study abroad in Italy, and I was an au pair in 2019.
So you went.
I went.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, it was
that's
something.
good, and that's a good test of your relationship.
Yeah,
as well.
it was 6-7 months where we were long distance, but we had been long distance, and like kudos to you. You were like my biggest supporter on that, and being like, if I wasn't playing baseball, like I would study abroad and I would be an au pair and all the things. And so I lived in Bologna, Italy, and I was an au pair for. Now we're so close to them. These two parents, both doctors, and I love them. They're 2 kids, 4 and 7-year-olds. And then once I moved back, I was like, okay, I either start my life in, I guess California, or I moved to Cleveland because that's where he was. And so I made that move because it was pretty obvious that he was, the one. So then that first season, I couldn't go to any of the games. So I newly moved to Cleveland. And I just remember like they had cardboard cutouts of us.
Yeah.
In the
geez.
stands, yeah. And so
Crazy to think back
It's
on.
I mean, it's like not real.
Yeah.
it seemed like, it really is crazy.
And all you want to do is you're living there. You want to go to the games.
Yeah.
And he's still even coming home to you. But
Right.
I
I
know.
know.
Neither
it
here
was
nor
crazy.
there.
Yeah.
well, in Arizona, the kids were going to school, couldn't go to school, but the bars were open.
Yeah.
So kind of
There's
the
a lot
same
of
thing.
different,
Yeah, you're
right,
like, this
a lot
is
of different
backwards.
ways to go about it.
But then in
But yeah,
2021,
I know we
got married.
bounced around, but that's pretty much like our timeline. Yeah.
Okay, so why did you choose Arizona ultimately? Because at that point you were living in Cleveland, and then you reestablished a home base in Arizona.
Santa Barbara, as hard as it is to leave, proved to be just a little bit expensive for
Very
some young
expensive.
cats, some young kids. And so for a bunch of different reasons, kind of Arizona opened itself to us. We had been here throughout spring training. Obviously, I'd been here like seasonally for a few years and never once in the summer, but always in the good times.
You were like, this place is great.
We're like, this place is fantastic.
January.
And spring training, the Cleveland spring training facilities out in Goodyear.
Yep.
And so, a very short commute to to work for a few months out of the year, and then able to make that transition over to Cleveland pretty seamlessly. But it just made sense, a lot cheaper than California, and to be able to spend a few more months in our home, in our bed, during spring training proved, very vital.
One less move for us is like the biggest thing ever. Yeah. So we were like, if we could just
if we were to continue and rent in California, you go California in the off season to Arizona for spring training to Cleveland. So we kind of cut out that.
And it's easy for your family who lives in Laguna Hills, and then even your family to get here with the main airport.
They love it.
Obviously getting back to Cleveland. So this is definitely home base. And then during the season, you guys go to Cleveland. Before we dive into more of your entrepreneurial background, Kara, and of course, having the little baby, I do want to mention, Shane, you've been on the injury list for the past year.
Since I got surgery on April 12th of 2024, so very early on in the season. I think April 1st was opening day. I only made 2 starts last year. It was unfortunate and kind of a gut shot, but I think looking back and my rehab's going really well, and I'm tracking to be back on the mound in big league games about halfway through this year, and that's about the expected timeline. Everything's going really well, and I plan on it continuing to go that way. But to spare you all the details and the hardship, there was a lot of it, but looking back, like very fortunate to experience some time to work on getting myself back up to better physical shape, but then. We're bringing a new life into this world, and
the silver lining
such
of
a
it all.
special
There is
time.
silver lining.
There's a ton of silver linings. We were able to notice those daily.
We didn't see it at first because it was really hard, and like you said, we'll spare you, but it's like we moved all of our stuff to Cleveland, as we always do, and then he had his first 2 starts, and then, we kind of realized he needed to get, we say like the 50,000-mile tune-up. That's all it is, and then we moved everything back, and we were like, okay, so what does the next 6 months look like, because it's going to be completely different. And that's when we were like, you know what, we're ready to start a family.
The timing was perfect.
And for him to be home, I mean, I thank God, because if not, I would have probably been going to a lot of those appointments on my own, or just having him travel, or I would have had to been traveling. And so kind of being able to work on my career and just be at home and kind of in a routine while, dealing with the changes of pregnancy was, I mean, it was amazing. We got to have dinner together. During the season, that's rare for us. So having normalcy was really cool. But we're now really, really excited for this season. I cannot wait. I miss watching him play so much.
That's your life together.
And we could go on and on. There's so many things, and we can talk about this as long as you want. But one of the things that became pretty clear early on to me when we were going through this. This kind of phase, and once I got surgery, she spends so much time supporting me and playing that role for me and our family, and doing so many things, and being the perfect puzzle piece and so many different things, so I can chase my dreams and that career. And this was an opportunity for us to switch roles for a little bit, and she was able to do some things entrepreneurially and really develop her own brand and continue to do that. And I was able to. While focusing on just getting myself back to shape and healthy, I was able to play that role and that 6-man role, and I've definitely enjoyed that. So it's just there's been so much positivity that's there's light been shed on, and for us both individually and as a couple.
Yeah, I'll never forget how he was there for me in these last couple months, because I do think when people say, oh, how has your pregnancy been? I'm like, it's been really easy and really good, but that's credit to him and his support. If I was doing this on my own and, trying to, I don't know, you hit a wall, honestly, at the end of the day, where you're like, I just want somebody to take care of me.
I'm not a great cook, but my bagel sandwiches.
Him just being
they've been
home
fantastic
and there for me as what has made the
What's
pregnancy.
What's on the bagel sandwich?
Oh my gosh.
Pretty basic. I mean, cream cheese, butter, obviously a fried egg, avocado, bacon.
Oh, that's not basic. That's really impressive.
Oh, it's not. I would say impressive,
I'm impressed.
but I'm just just the right ratios goes a long way.
I was supposed to take my glucose test.
Oh yeah, I kind of ruined it on one of the OB appointments, which I do have I will toot my own horn. I've got a perfect attendance record so far. So.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We're at 35 weeks. I don't know if I'll be able to make the weekly ones now that we're in that territory, but we've done a really good job at just embracing the position that we're in, and sometimes you got to, we pat ourselves on the back. And so
Yeah,
it's been
I mean,
great.
there's always a silver lining, and the truth is, you have a team with the Guardians, then you have a team within your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask, this is your job
Mm-hmm.
in baseball. How did you get through this emotionally? I'm sure the emotion of everything was a roller coaster for you.
Yeah, great question. First of all, I think,
It's a big, huge part of it.
yeah, I
really
mean, nobody
emotionally.
knows me better than her. And I remember post surgery, our families are incredibly supportive,
Everything
and
to
I think
us,
that's
we're
where we get
extremely
it from. My parents drove out here because, like you said, it's a quick drive from California, and they were able to help us support us because we'd basically moved our entire lives and our dogs and everything to Cleveland.
My sister and
for
brother-in-law
2 weeks.
flew to Cleveland
Wow.
with me to
And
go get it all
then
and bring it back.
we had to pack it all up and move it all back and then unpack in our home. And I couldn't do that with one
Sure.
arm. And so
We needed our
my
tribe.
parents and our family helped out big time on that. But post surgery, I'm usually a pretty even keeled, steadfast, like go with it guy. And it hit me pretty good, albeit for probably 48 hours.
I
So
bet.
I guess it was, in the
I think
grand
it's
scheme, it was
because
pretty
he
quick.
felt
But
so good. I think it was the most unexpected time for him to have this injury in his career. We had the best off season. We were both so dialed in, working out. Like, I don't know if we've ever felt healthier, honestly.
Yeah.
And then your spring training was amazing. His first 2 starts, it was almost harder because we almost didn't believe that it was
even happening.
Yeah, because I was like, you're not throwing like that with
I was
a torn
performing really
ligament.
well,
I'm
so-
sorry.
Yeah, it was just something that we needed to address surgically. It'd been an
Yeah.
issue that I dealt with for a while, but
You're gonna be
she
brand
said,
new.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
I know.
she said,
Bionic Bieber.
yeah.
Bionic Bieber.
I could tell that she noticed that like kind of the light was out of my eyes for, again, only 48 hours, but that's pretty long for me. And I was down in it until I was able to kind of start moving around and working on my flexion, extension,
And where
just
is
mobility
rehab?
and all
Is it
that.
in
And it was
Goodyear?
in Goodyear, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going in there, pretty
Every
much
day?
every day. Yeah. Albeit maybe sometimes on Saturdays, but usually got Sundays off.
Yeah, emotionally though, I mean, I have always really wanted to make this like key in our relationship and just in baseball life of like him having more outside of just baseball, right? Like him not like I guess having his entire identity tied to his job, because at the end of the day it is his job. Does this job take a lot of our like life and schedule and everything? Yes, and we're so thankful for that, but I wanted you to have, your own identity outside of that, which you always have prioritized. And I think that this injury really put that to the test to see if, mentally he, didn't break, I guess, because in
Right.
a lot of players this would have. And you really got into a routine and found the other stuff in your life that you love and, just
Like what?
dialing it in.
Playing a support role, honestly. Like, obviously, I couldn't golf, couldn't go on hikes,
Yeah, you
couldn't
could-
stay
that's what I
super
mean. So
active.
what did
and,
you
and then
do?
even if I could, it was 120 degrees here.
Sure.
So,
You had your
Yeah.
summer
I love
here, which
working
was
around
tough.
the house. I love spending time with our dogs and exercising.
kind of
Building
dogs?
our life too.
We have 2
I
golden
mean,
doodles,
Cute.
one big, one small. They're doing great. They're fantastic. We love them. But just to like wrap that emotional part of it up, and she brought up a great point, is that that's always been a priority of mine and ours, really, is to be more than just baseball, which, it demands a lot. But I guess in a sense to bring that like full circle is that's kind of always been the role that baseball's played for myself and for our family. Is like I always loved it and was committed to it. But like I said, going from high school, I wasn't sure if I was going to play in college. And so there's always been
It doesn't define you.
Yeah.
a little bit of strife and
He has so
struggle to
much
get to
more
the next
to him.
level. But that's allowed me to take it for what it is and to enjoy everything else that's going on as well.
And this game is a roller coaster. So I'm like, if our happiness is only based on how you're doing and, like playing, we're going to be screwed.
Yeah.
Like, so just putting that to the test and seeing how we were okay. And we found other things in routine and building our life. And, obviously our family now was a really beautiful thing. And I feel like we have such a good perspective now going forward on I like to say second half of your career, because you have so much more to give that I think we aren't going to take it for granted and really, really soak up every single minute of it.
Absolutely.
And
But we are being optimistic. You will be on that mound.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I actually
The
don't want to
comeback
get too
season's
optimistic.
gonna be
Everything's
crazy.
going really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. And obviously, with the silver lining, it shows. I mean, she's beautiful, she's glowing, and you didn't have to miss anything. But I do want to touch on, Kara, you also have maintained a sense of self, which is very important. You know, being married to a high profile athlete, having your own sense of self is very important. Tell me about what you do.
Well, I wouldn't say it's been easy at
Sure.
all. When I graduated college, I think since I was born, the people close to me will say like I am extremely driven, and working towards my goals and all those things like really does make me happy. So kind of graduating and being like, okay, well, this is my person. I want to be with him. The only way we can be together is if I move to Cleveland. You know, he doesn't have a choice, unfortunately. So it was like for me to move and find my path was very challenging. And I did feel lost a lot of the times because I didn't really know what my purpose was. And for baseball girls, it can be extremely hard because we can't really have that 9 to 5. We would never see them. So it's just like challenging figuring out and, you know, trying to find your own path and your own career and your own thing that you want to do so that you do have an identity outside of, you know, instead of just being Shane Bieber's wife or whatever. It's like I do have a name and I have, you know, things that I really enjoy and that I'm going after.
Tell me about your businesses.
Yeah. So I'll start with Kinlike. It is a clothing brand.
How'd you come up with the name?
You know, I don't really know. I wanted it to be a little bit different, but I obviously wanted it to like be elevated, but at the same time, like just embody family. So I started with
Family
Kin.
has always been huge for you. And
Women,
sorry.
community, and movement.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna just say like it kind of started. You know, you've always enjoyed and had a passion in designing clothes, but
Yeah, fashion has always been kind
the
of.
community itself started because she's done a tremendous job of committing to Cleveland and our community there, and,
Yeah.
and she spends a ton of time and effort connecting with various personalities in the greater Cleveland area and a bunch of girls there. And
Yeah.
you were getting messages about like hosting some sort of
Yeah.
movement, or people wanted to get out and work out, but they
Since
didn't want to
COVID,
do it
it
by
was
themselves.
hard for girls to make friends. Like I would do my Monday questions where I kind of just open up my Instagram and people can come in and ask me whatever, links to clothes, to advice and relationships or whatever. And a girl was like, please set something up where we, you know, us women can connect, because if it's not at work or workout, like how do I make friends? And so I was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. Let's do a walk at a local park.
That's
like meet me
awesome.
here at this time, thinking like
She
20.
did like a quick little survey and was like,
Yeah.
who would be interested in this? And she got like 115.
You should do that here too in
replies.
Arizona.
She did one.
I
in
did.
when? It was
Okay.
a year ago.
No, in Arizona
Well,
it was.
the first one was a year ago.
Yeah, and then I just had one like 2 weeks ago, and 200 women came.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so the local park one in Cleveland, I thought 20 to 50 people, whatever. It was just going to be a little walk. I mean, the amount of women that showed up, it was overwhelming.
How are you incorporating that side with the fashion line with Kinlike?
So when you come to a Kinlike event, you get the first access to that new launch of clothing. And so that's really exciting for girls because they get their hands on it first, and then I launch it online. So a lot of the times, you know, it's like sweat sets, it's kind of like streetwear, but elevated, like so that you just really feel like all of the pieces, you know, are neutral and can kind of go together, like staple pieces that you'll have forever, and you can kind of feel part of the community by wearing that Kinlike sweatshirt or hat. And I've gotten really into trucker hats too. I don't know why. I didn't really
You're
see
doing
that
things really
happening.
different.
Yeah,
It's an interesting concept.
I really, really see a big future for Kinlike, and I want it to go on tour because I always think if I'm going to be traveling with him, I might
may
as
as
well
well.
work, and I might as well, you know, get those women on those other teams to host and bring their communities together. So when he has a away series in, say, New York, I'm going to contact, you know, somebody on the Mets or Yankees and be like, let's bring, you know, your
Smart.
girls together and have like a women's walk. And
That's
then
smart.
my favorite part about the event is I bring women entrepreneurs locally so that they can set up their business and showcase it and sell whatever they are
Lovely.
offering. So it's kind of like a walk and then a mixer.
Sure.
And it's just like a fun day. Like honestly, I have a blast, and I think people, you know, really appreciate having a safe place to be able to make friends and connect with other women, and it's totally like a networking thing too for the businesses as well.
Good for you.
Yeah,
It was that your fourth or fifth?
I think it was like the 5th.
Okay, so she had her
We
fifth
did 3 last
Kinlike,
year.
event at the Scottsdale Resort a few weeks ago, like she said, and I was finally able to make the cut. and I was able to
Oh,
help behind the
it's like
scenes,
one
you know,
guy
just
can come.
Yeah.
help load and unload stuff,
Right,
basically. But
you're useful.
we'll say I made the cut, yeah. And it's truly impressive. It's awesome.
It is
And
impressive.
she's able to bring so many people together. It's always exceeds expectations, and so.
Yeah, I'm really excited for what I can do with it and kind of what cities we can hit. And eventually, you know, I want girls to be like, we want you to come to Denver
Right, come.
or wherever. And I think the next one will definitely be in Cleveland. And then I want to do one in like Laguna and
Cool.
do like a beach walk and then bring it back here in the
Watching
winter.
you guys together, first of all, you guys are so cute, but you're so supportive of one another, which is so special and sacred, especially in the high profile relationship that you have. Congratulations on that, because and you're setting that foundation for the family you're about
Thank
to
you.
have.
Yeah, it's not too difficult.
It's
you know?
natural.
Yeah, it's like I feel like we're just like friends first, you know, like I really am like, I don't know. I always said in the beginning, I'm like, a lot of people can annoy me, but you don't annoy me.
I feel
you know,
the
it's
same.
like,
Yeah.
it's like
Right.
a good quality. I'm like, I just
You're not
enjoy being
annoying.
around you.
Congratulations.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, you made that cut. You have another business though too.
Yeah, Telt Skincare.
Okay.
This one is so special because it's with my sister, and we just opened it and started it this year. She's like, I call her like Little House in the Prairie. She like basically lives off the land. My very best friend in life. She's 4 years older than me and just had a baby girl, and so we're doing motherhood together
Yay.
too. And her name's Carly, and I just like couldn't adore her more. And she has been making tallow skincare for years and just using it on herself because she's
What
like,
is that for people that don't know?
yeah, so it sounds a little crazy, but a lot of people are coming around to it because we just don't want chemicals on our body. But tallow is basically fat of the cow, but it is like the most nutrient dense fat around the cow's organs. And so when you render that down and purify it, it becomes like the most luxurious, amazing product that you can mix with our rosehip and jojoba oil.
Is that why your face is glowing?
Yeah, I only use Telt.
Wow.
I honestly don't use anything else. I love it. It's because it is so compatible with your skin barrier, so it goes deeper than any other product that could just sit on the surface. And if you read the ingredient labels of a lot of these, it is like the nastiest stuff.
I agree
and
with you.
so with us having kids especially, and just with my pregnant belly, I'm like, I don't want to be putting any of that on my skin. Your skin is your biggest organ. So putting chemicals on it is just like
5, maybe 6 ingredients. I actually use it morning and night.
yeah.
It's the only thing I've ever used.
Great
It's
for
funny,
men
like,
because they're not wanting to do a whole
Sure.
skincare
maybe
routine.
this is a decent example, maybe it's not, but like I feel like a lot of guys, if their partners or wives like, hey, try this skincare, like this will clear you up or whatever, and it's like I used to throw something on and it would just like I'd break out all of a sudden. It's like, oh,
So he's like, I'm not going to do that again.
like why would I ever do that?
My husband
And-
will not listen to me.
Yeah, no, I mean it's crazy, and then you turn the bottle around and you can't pronounce half the things on
Right.
there, and so
Yeah, and there's like alcohol
You've
in it,
never
drying
heard of it.
agents, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not going to be good for your skin.
so it's not even just you know, like a moisturizer. Like they're getting a ton of messages, and you know, one of my friends or coworkers yesterday or 2 days ago had just told me, you know, I gave him a little sample, and his kid has some like childhood eczema, and he threw it on there and it clears it right up.
no,
And
it's
So
psoriasis,
they're getting a
It's
ton
safe for
of
kids too, which
yeah.
is cool.
scars, like everything.
Really?
We didn't even know because my sister and I don't have eczema, and we don't deal with like
Well, get ready
cystic-
to have a baby. They get everything.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
I know. It's because
Yeah.
they get the baby acne and the
Yeah.
eczema, and people, like adults, have eczema. Cystic acne, like I'm not even lying. Like,
gotten
and we
some
were
crazy
actually,
messages.
I'll admit, like, we were really, like, shocked. We're like, it's getting rid of what? Like,
Right.
you know, liquid gold, honestly.
I'm sold. I want to try it.
Yeah,
We'll bring
I'll
you some,
definitely
yeah.
bring you
That's
some.
awesome.
Yeah, we are so excited, and we want to just.
That's going to be huge because
Yeah.
you're really not. I mean, I haven't really heard of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, people are coming around to
it's
the
gaining some
idea.
steam.
Yeah.
For sure, because it's the age-old skincare. I mean, people have been doing it
Well,
for
you grew
years
up near
and
cows.
years. Yeah, and it's at first we were
And
getting
it
all
doesn't
the
smell beefy, by the way. They
Yeah,
got the
it
vanilla. I want
doesn't.
to put it on some like cinnamon
vanilla
rolls,
essential
yeah.
oil, but it's less than 1%, so the essential oil doesn't affect your skin at all. And we have like rosemary, frankincense, and jasmine, and it's just like it's so great to make a product and a business with your sister that you're so passionate
Yeah,
about.
I mean,
helping
there's nothing
mothers
more
and
special
kids.
than that.
Yeah, we are so excited to see where it goes, truly. And we want to kind of get the men into it too, because, they're
Why
like,
not?
oh, beef fat. Yeah, well, I could get
Right.
into that.
If there's beef involved.
Yeah.
I mean, Shane, you're married to like this mega entrepreneur, but she's also going to be a mega model. So you just got signed with.
Yeah, Ford RBA here in Arizona. I didn't really see that as my path. I wasn't really looking to do that necessarily. But it just kind of happened and those doors opened and I was like, why not?
Why not?
I'm really thankful for them. They have been amazing. I signed and then, kind of I got pregnant like shortly after. And of course I was like a little bit scared or just nervous to tell them, I guess, because they probably thought my path of modeling was going to be different.
Yep.
But I remember when I went in there and told them, they were like outstanding. I can't even explain like the relief that I felt from them. They were honestly just like happy for me as an individual.
Well, you look like a supermodel pregnant. I mean, if you're listening and not watching, she's wearing a tight turtleneck with a beautiful little bump. You're gorgeous.
Thank you. I really
and
appreciate
naturally
it.
beautiful.
Thank you. I've tried to stay active. I say that definitely helps.
What's the key? What's active to you?
Movement. I'm not doing anything crazy. I honestly think women these days think that you have to go like kill yourself in the gym. I used to do that. I used to do crazy classes and all the things. But the second that I started working out intentionally and really started like almost slowing down and going, intentional workouts, my cortisol, I think, went down and I think my body was like...
Can you give me an example of what you're doing?
Quality of movement is like so...
Brandon Harris is my trainer. He's also his trainer. So I'm like, he's like training a professional athlete and a pregnant lady. I'm like, I'm training for life.
Well, you got to tell her about your crew.
Yeah, I train with my two best friends here, and we actually all got pregnant like at the same time.
Well,
I know.
something's in the water.
Yeah, it was a month. It was like we are all a month apart. Yeah,
okay,
and so
but that's super cool.
I know it has been the biggest blessing because we just kept training together.
And your babies will grow up together.
Yeah, so it's been the most amazing thing, and he's so great because we're doing decently hard hit workouts, I'd say, and like and lifting, and then now we've kind of just tailored back to like body movements, a lot of lunges, a lot of
He's had
like,
to adapt
hip.
to the pregnant lady.
Oh yeah, and he's fantastic. He's been in the game for so
Yeah.
long, and their husbands play baseball as well, and so like everybody's kind of on the same program. But man, like these three girls are his star-studded class. They're like
cool.
9 a.m. every day, and it's crazy. And
Yeah.
thankfully they started to slow down a little bit. One of the babies is here already, and one loading up, and of course ours as well. And
I know I'm last in the three. I'm like, okay, let's go.
And you're having a baby boy. When you heard that, Shane, were you like, thank goodness?
No, you know what? We get
It's
that
funny.
a lot, and I would be happy either way. Truly, like from the bottom of my heart. I was actually kind of leaning girl, and she was leaning boy, and then once we did a mini like reveal. We cut into like a sourdough
I saw it
loaf,
on Instagram. You guys have to see it.
It was either blueberry or raspberry, right? And like as I was cutting, like she was leaning girl and I was leaning boy, so we were kind of up in the air, both of us.
Yeah.
And we're just really
I had a gut
excited.
feeling it was a boy from the very beginning, but because my sister was having a girl, she hadn't had her, or no.
She grew up in an all-girl
had
family as well, like just one sister. I grew up with one brother, and so that's kind of what
You
we've
usually
known.
get right.
And then our niece is 4 months old.
And
so
we were
that's-
talking baby girl, like all the good things about what a baby girl is going to be, because she was coming so soon that like I had a vivid dream the night before we did the gender reveal of me holding a baby girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, this whole time I was so sure it's a boy. I think it might be a girl, but it was probably like me holding Miss May, our little girl.
Well, I told you, I'm a biased boy mom. I have 3. We didn't find out because really at the end,
love that.
My first pregnancy was rocky, so at the end of the day, I just, it was healthy baby. And that's what we all want, healthy baby. But at the end of the day, you get what you're supposed to get. But the boys are the best. I will tell you.
I'm happy to hear that
We
because
appreciate that.
every
that
time I
encouragement.
tell-
I'm gonna say something, but Kara, they love their moms.
I keep hearing that. I'm
That
so glad.
is the most special part about having a boy. Like I feel like it's like like ducks like crossing the road with the mom duck and the baby ducks crossing.
That's cute, yeah.
Like that's how I feel with my little entourage.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because a lot of times when we tell people that we're having a boy, they're like, good luck.
Oh gosh.
Like, oh my
That's what I would
gosh,
say
get
to a
ready
girl.
for it. Like basically
we've been girls. I mean, my poor parents.
I know. I think they mean little boy, like when they're littler or something.
But it's the best and they're cute.
I'm like, I got the energy. Let's do it. Let's go run outside.
And then so like this baby will just become like you just you move to Cleveland, you do all the things, you're going to New York. Are you going to all travel together? Is that your plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to know the road life. And I think baseball babies are like so chill and amazing.
So
'cause
they
They really, truly,
They know the
just
road.
have to go with the flow.
Do we
Many
have a
challenges
name?
as
Are we
it-
sharing a
as
name?
it presents? Well, I think we're gonna keep it.
We're
don't
going
have
to
to
keep
share
it,
it.
but
Okay.
we've known for like the whole pregnancy, honestly.
Yeah.
It's really
Okay.
special.
As many
so we're
challenges
excited.
as baseball can provide for a family and a family with kids, like there are some pros to traveling early and traveling a lot, and there's a lot of stimulus.
The
Because we're moving
second
to
they are
They're able to
born,
get
you
used
put them
to.
in the car.
Yep.
Yeah.
And train them young. And it's the best. It is the best gift you could give your kids
Yeah,
is
stadiums
memories and travel.
different people,
Yeah.
and
Well, we're moving to Cleveland when he's 2 months old.
Yeah, but
so
then you're
there
going to
you go.
move back in the off season, right?
Yeah.
So you really are,
When he's like
Arizona's
7
home
months.
and then Cleveland's home. And, going back to what I'm saying is these are the memories you're going to give your kids. And plus I have boys that would dream of going to every stadium in the country, and your boy will do it.
that's one thing. When we
was
did
kinda
find
talking
out it
about
was he was going to be a boy, and Kara actually brought it up. She's like, I'm actually so glad that we're having a boy first, and obviously we hope.
For more.
We hope we're blessed with more healthy children, and
He says school bus. I'm like, where?
Yeah, me too.
I'll settle for a basketball team.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But that was one of the things that she brought up. And she's like, I'm so excited that I guess our oldest will be a boy, because who knows how long we have in baseball, and he's
He'll
gonna
be
be
the
the
ones
one
with
to
the
grow up
memories.
with like sheer like solid memories of his pops. At
Not
the
saying a
ballpark
girl
and-
wouldn't and just
I
as
know,
much,
I
but
know, we're
like
not
that's so
getting at
stereotypical. But
Right.
I'm like, but it is like a little boy
and
watching
it's
his
your
dad,
son, like watching your
Yeah.
dad. You can get these frames that it's like the United States, and it says like baseball stadiums, and like they
little pins like
the
conquest
pins,
maps.
or you could put a
Yeah.
picture of them. It's such a cute gift especially for you guys.
That would be cute.
So nursery, is there a baseball theme?
No.
No
We
theme.
tend to not really bring baseball into, those aspects of our life, not in any bad way, but at the end of the day, like it kind of is his job, like we have so many other interests outside of it. Do we have little baseball onesies with Bieber 57 on the back? Yes.
Absolutely.
And I can't
That's
wait.
what you're bringing him home in.
I can't wait for him to wear all of that and dress him so cute for the games like that. I like imagining Shane coming back and me watching him pitch again with my baby boy in the stands. Like my mind still is
My
just
mind
like,
is for you.
oh my gosh, like I just can't even, I can't even wait. Like it's so exciting. But nursery,
Yeah, nursery.
Yeah,
Colors?
She says, sorry, just to cut in. Yeah, we do like stay away from, I guess, the baseball decor, except for like 2 rooms. We have a gym
Yeah,
where
true.
I got like
All the things.
we just don't want to go overboard, and we're making sure not
do
to
it
do that, but
aesthetically where it still is not just like,
got a bunch of jerseys,
baseball.
frames, signed memorabilia, and
Who
just
was
really
your
taking
idol growing
advantage of a ton.
Favorite player?
In baseball?
Yeah, if you could pitch to anyone, dead or alive.
Oh man, that's
And
such
strike
a good
'em out.
question. Albert Pujols, Vladimir Guerrero. I grew up an Angels fan, and so guys over there. But like, I'm so fortunate enough to have some of those jerseys and memorabilia signed, like Pujols.
Yeah.
and,
That's so cool.
And we have them all up on the wall finally, because for years with our old house, I just didn't know what room or we were gonna stay there for long, so I didn't want to put the effort into like really making it like a thing or a
Right.
room, like a memorabilia room. And now we have that, and it is really really special because all of his favorites, his signed balls and your jerseys and all those, we have like hung up in a cool way. So that's been really really nice
Nursery
to have.
colors?
so not so we're
yeah.
keeping all that in a different room, and then nursery.
Yeah, and nursery, I really wanted it to still flow with the rest of our house, like still my interior design type of style. So we actually just did lime wash in the nursery, and it's like a taupey,
Love
really
it.
like
Very neutral.
soft, very neutral color. But there's a little cowboy vibe in there.
Cool.
I can't lie.
The
Yeah,
Arizona in you.
yeah, there's a rocking horse, like a wooden rocking horse, and darker woods, and yeah, it's really cool. One of my friends in Cleveland actually like hand painted little farm animals with like vintage frames.
So cute.
Yeah, so we just really want like as much love in that room as possible. But it's funny because I'm getting this nursery already, and I'm like, he's not even gonna be in it. Like the
Right.
first
Well,
like a
it's
little
still
bit.
nice to have.
It's still
nice to have.
yeah. We
Plus,
will
they don't,
hang out
they don't
in
sleep
it.
in there for a while. But
Right.
Yeah.
what kind of parents are you guys going to be?
That's so interesting.
That's
We
the
talk
question.
about that often.
Yeah. For some reason, I mean, that's a really hard question.
It's a
to
very
answer,
hard
right?
question.
You don't know
And I
until
guess
you're
I'll
in it.
answer it just with like people ask if I know she gets this question individually, but people ask me like, "Are you nervous?" And I'm really not. I'm excited. They're like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "I'm not naive enough to say that we're ready because everybody says you don't know it until it hits you, right?"
Yeah.
But we're just excited. Like I can't wait for the opportunity to grow and to nurture and nourish, and it's an exciting
We're able
time.
to be excited because our foundation is so rock solid that like I know that if I fall, I have a bad day, like he will pick me up. And as cliche as that is, like truthfully, that whenever I'm like start to freak out and be like, oh my gosh, can I do this? I'm like, yeah, I can because he's gonna have my back. And our families are, like we keep saying, our world. And so like my mom and my mother-in-law are ready to come,
You're ready.
yeah, ready to be like there the second he's born. And so anything that we've faced in the past, we've gotten through. And I think that parenthood's going to be the same thing. Like we'll figure
There's
it out.
There's nothing to be nervous about. It
Right.
comes natural.
Right.
Yeah.
Theme song to your life or what's on your playlist?
Ooh.
I'm the music guy.
Okay.
Well, we
What are you
just had our
listening to?
anniversary yesterday, so
Yeah, we
Happy
did our first dance.
anniversary.
Thank you. Our first dance was to a band who we are forever indebted to.
Yeah,
They're
love them
Grady
so
Spencer
much.
and the work out of Texas, and they're fantastic. They came to our wedding and they played. And
Oh, that's
our
neat.
first dance song is called "Nothing Is Bad." It's a fantastic groove.
you have
and
to listen to
Okay.
them. They are
They've
like,
got a fantastic sound.
good.
They're slept on. Even when they blow up, they'll still be slept on. But
Yeah.
we're excited for
But
them
that's your song.
and all
Yep.
that comes. But
Nothing
yeah,
is
I mean,
bad.
we love to. I guess that is our one song, but
he is like the music. I
we
mean,
love music all together.
I just said the other day, I'm like, I'm so lucky I just have good music around me all the time because he always likes
What
to
do you
come
like
up
to
with.
listen to?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
What was it on your Spotify, like end of year thing? You had like the
Oh, the Spotify.
Yeah, what
Wrapped,
was like?
Yeah.
What was a few of the songs?
like
on the end of
just like the 99th percentile and like artists listen
Yeah.
to. Just because I don't know. I enjoy it. I've obviously got that commute from Scottsdale
Yeah,
to
true.
Sure.
Yeah, he's
to
Right,
like
Goodyear to
listening to a
play
lot of
around
things.
with and try and find some new
Yeah.
tunes, but always trying to find.
Well, you
new
could find
vibes
this
and
show on
playlists and-
Spotify
yeah,
to keep you
perfect.
busy.
That's fair.
Describe your perfect day off in Arizona. What would you guys do?
Right now,
Yeah,
We
anything.
wanna
oh yeah,
not in
because
the
right
heat.
now it changed. I'm like,
we want to nest right now. Both of us actually. Like I
Yeah.
don't blame her, but for some reason
we have a hard
leaning
time
into it,
slowing
too.
down. It is
Sure.
like very difficult for us. My
Favorite
whole
date
pregnancy.
spots?
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you been to Vecina? Vecina.
Vecina's our favorite
I don't know if I should have
restaurant.
said that. Yeah.
No, that's good.
Don't
No,
go
that's
because
good.
we're
You
letting
should
the
definitely
cat's
check it
out of
out.
the
They're our
bag.
favorite
Okay.
there. The people are fantastic. The service is fantastic, and it's a chef-owned
we
restaurant.
walk in and we feel like it's like
Um,
family. They're so
Vecina.
great.
He and his wife run the place, and they're incredible.
Yeah,
It's-
staff is amazing. Like, I mean, the people there, like, truly just are dialed in. Like,
Sure.
the service is just insane.
Mm-hmm.
The spicy margs might be my first stop after baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
I
have
bet.
they have the best.
So is
spicy
that your
marg
drink
ever.
of choice?
No, I don't drink them often, but because I mean, not a lot of restaurants have good ones, honestly.
know.
So like, but there I
It's
will.
all about the tahini.
I'm a tahine,
Yes.
right? I'm like, do you have that? And then we're good. I'm a red wine drinker
Red
though.
wine.
I love red wine.
What's your drink of choice to reward yourself?
I
Modelo.
like tequila. Yeah, I had to quit the Modelos.
Quit
Tequila or
on?
red wine?
No.
Yeah.
Tequila and red wine.
Yeah. Every now and then I'll the Biebers, my whole family is we're martini people, so
Oh, a nice
I
martini.
enjoy a dirty martini.
That was an acquired taste. I was like, I got to get there to become a Bieber, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like
I'm
work
not
on
there.
it.
I don't love a martini.
Yeah, they
It's
got to
like
be
an
extra
introduction
dirty, extra
into our
icy,
family,
just to
yeah.
kind of take the edge off.
Right. I know that you're both active on Instagram and
Yes.
you're constant. And do you plan to be as candid when you have baby and get baby involved? Can people follow you and track baby? Have you decided if we're going to do that?
I think I am definitely going to showcase just motherhood in general because again, I am about like women empowerment and just really connecting, and I think that that's going to be a fun way for me to connect with moms and kind of be like, hey, I'm in this too. This isn't as easy as everyone says, or however it goes. But I would be lying if I said that I wasn't going to be protective of him
Sure.
and, really only
Do it with grace.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, not show everything. But we're excited, and we're not going to probably be
I mean,
the
I just
people
wanna
that
see a
like show.
picture.
Yeah, we're probably not
Yeah.
going to like cover his face or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah,
We're
and
gonna.
she will always be authentic on
Yeah.
her
Right.
page. She takes that very seriously. And
You
gives,
do.
Yeah, I'm
she wants to
starting to
give
do it a
people
little bit more.
and women or men a space to be authentic and ask questions and poke around.
Well,
and-
they always ask women, like, especially if you have kids and if you're working like you, Kara, you're balancing being a wife, a mom, having a few businesses. How do you balance it all? And the truth is, you just do. And it seems like you're just going to do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like you're going to let anything slide. I could just tell the demeanor that who you are. It's going to just unfold beautifully for the both of you.
Thank you. That means a lot. I think my biggest thing is definitely giving myself grace in the beginning. Like I said, it's hard for me to slow down, and pregnancy has been such a beautiful process in doing so.
Sure.
You don't always have to be go to be productive. So I think in the beginning, just really not missing a single moment of that, because they're newborns for only so long. I think they say 8 weeks. And like that flies like that. My sister's baby's 4.5 months, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's already, she's already like head control, smiling at you, like all the things. And so I really don't want to miss out on that. So the newborn baby bubble is going to be real, and I'm going to try really soak that all in. And, but I'm sure I'll be back at it pretty soon.
You will. And I'm just so excited for all the things, returning to the mound, having the baby this year. I mean, this is such an exciting year for you both. So congratulations. Is there
Thank
anything
you.
else you want to add?
I don't think so.
No, I just thank you for having us
Yeah.
on. It's been
Pleasure.
super
No, this was
authentic,
such a fun
great
conversation.
Yeah, it was
vibe
so
and
fun.
energy, just being able to conversate together.
All right,
Yeah.
where can everybody find both of you?
Kara Maxine Bieber on Instagram. I'm probably most active on there. I have TikTok as well, which you'll find if you're on
And if we
Instagram.
go to your Instagram, will we be able to find
Telt
the links to your
Skincare
skincare
and
and
Kinlike.
everything?
Yeah, Telt Skincare, and then Kinlike also has their own Instagrams and websites as well. And so I would love for everyone to follow along. That would be awesome.
I'm
And
just
Shane?
Shane Bieber on Instagram and Twitter.
Keeping it simple. Well,
Yeah.
thank you
I think
for
there's a
joining
number there
us.
on Twitter, but I'll pop up. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
cannot wait for baby. Promise I can come visit him.
Yes,
I want to hold a little
absolutely.
baby. It's
Absolutely.
they say every year is the best year. Every phase is the best phase.
Yeah,
But just they grow up very fast.
I know.
So
You're
enjoy
in it.
it, savor
Thank you
it,
very much.
and congratulations.
Thank you.
And you could follow us on Instagram at Nadine Bubeck. We will see you next time.
Now, with Nadine. Produced at Star Worldwide Networks.